stay tuned after the show for a special look behind the scenes.
Millicent, it says here that the average British woman has had 3.7 lovers before marriage.
3.7? How interesting.
Yes. And the average British male, 7.8. Doesn't seem quite fair, does it?
Rather, it doesn't seem to quite make sense.
In what way?
Well, in the numbers. How can the average British woman have had 3.7 lovers before marriage, while the average man has had twice as many?
Bit more than that, actually.
Yeah, a bit more than twice as many lovers as the women. How is that possible?
How do you mean?
Well, there are roughly equal numbers of men and women, so in theory, there is roughly one man for each woman.
Yes.
So this article states that before marriage, each woman is having relations with just under 4 men. Fine, that accounts for the woman's side of it, and for about half of the man's side of the equation. Do you follow?
So far.
So who are the other 4 women that the man is sleeping with?
I'm sorry?
Where do they come from, these other 4 women?
Well, I suppose they're... That is, say that... Well, I don't know, actually. But surely the article doesn't lie.
The state of the British press is not under scrutiny, I agree. Still, it's a question. Who are the 4 women that the average British male sleeps with that are not the previously mentioned 4 women he slept with?
I'm afraid you're rather confusing me now, Millicent.
Well, it is rather confusing to me too, Jaynes. I must think about this. I have it.
Pardon?
The 3.7 versus 7.8 conundrum. I think I have an answer.
Do you? Well, I'd love to hear.
It's a simple matter of mathematics, I believe. Let me see if I've got this straight. Just to simplify things, let's look at small numbers only. 10 unmarried women, 10 unmarried men. First, let's consider the 10 women. Right. Now, of these 10 women, imagine only two are having sex.
I'm imagining.
Now, one of these 2 women has relations with one man only.
Oh, poor thing.
Giving the whole group of 10 women an average of 1/10 of a lover before marriage.
Yes, quite.
The other woman, however, has relations with 39 men.
Oh, my.
giving the whole group an average of 4 lovers.
Is that right? But then, what about the men?
Right, yes, the men. Well, think of the men this way. Sally Strumpet has had her way with 39 men, correct?
Sally Strumpet indeed.
She alone is providing almost 4 experiences each for 10 men, which would account for the other 4 lovers the men have.
Well, no, because each man had 4 other different lovers.
Yes, but simply multiply Sally Strumpet by Tina Trollope and Lusty Louise and Sexual Susan and Magnificent Millicent, and before you know it, all the unmarried men in Great Britain are rolling in it, racking up 7.8 lovers each.
Yes, of course. Brilliant.
Well, one can't argue with numbers, can one, dear?
Well, I suppose not. That's amazing, darling, the way you've worked all that out. I really have made it a genius. Lusty Louise. Sexual Susan. Magnificent Millicent. Magnificent Millicent?
I beg your pardon?
Your list of trollops, you included Magnificent Millicent.
Did I? How interesting. I didn't even notice.
Yes, interesting. Millicent, dear.
Yes, Jaynes.
About these 2 theoretical women.
Yes, dear.
Well, if one of them were you, theoretically, of course.
Yes.
Well, suppose that you were one of these 2 theoretical women.
Yes, all right. I'm a theoretical woman. Go on.
Well, I'm wondering. That is, I mean to say that.
Yes, Jaynes.
Well, which one are you?
I beg your pardon?
I've never asked you before how many lovers you had before me, and I don't want to know exactly, but I rather wonder, sort of, well, which of the 2 unmarried women you might have been more like, where you might fall on the scale, so to speak.
Oh. Well.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I shouldn't have asked. Please forget that I asked and forgive me.
I suppose it's only natural to wonder, Jaynes. Now that the subject has been broached, I too wonder how average you are.
Well, well, of course, I'm absolutely. That was a long time ago. I mean, the bachelor days, long gone, those. But I assure you, I was quite the ladies' man back then. Well, of course, you remember our courting days. Yes, quite the ladies' man. But not too. I mean, well, I suppose I was about average.
Hmm.
And you?
Oh, I should say about average.
Ah.
Of course, there is another solution
Pardon?
to the conundrum about who the other 4 women are.
Do you mean to say that there is no Sally Strumpet, Lusty Louise, et al.?
Quite possibly.
But I don't see how. I mean, you've already explained about the numbers and all that, so...
The other 4 women might already be married.
The other 4 women?
That the unmarried men have as lovers? That would work. 4 unmarried women make love to 4 unmarried men and fulfill the women's quota. Then the men take on 4 married lovers and fulfill their end.
Oh. Yes. Well, I suppose that would work out too. Married women. Yes.
Yes, that would work out too.
Yes, that would work out too. The numbers.
Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. I'm director and caterer Sarah Campbell. Wasn't that a thrilling performance of Theater Knoxville Downtown presents Knoxville playwright Margy Ragsdale's
Statistical Reasoning
with Windie Wilson and Jaynes? Can you believe they weren't even in the same theater together? I can't either. As a matter of fact, both actors were broadcasting from the comfort and safety of their own home. What a technological marvel of theater. Oh, and speaking of theaters, did you know that Theater Knoxville Downtown relies on support from viewers like you? Thank you. Every performance of Theater Knoxville Downtown presents Knoxville playwright Margy Ragsdale's
Statistical Reasoning
with Windie Wilson and Jaynes is offered to you for your viewing pleasure free of charge. Unfortunately, the theater's utilities and rent are not free of charge. We will continue to work hard to find new and creative ways to bring Theater Knoxville Downtown into your home during these uncertain times. So please visit theaterknoxville.com and click donate to help us ensure that when it's safe enough, we'll all get back in the theater and we'll start doing live performances for a live audience. In fact, I am going to donate right now.
Millicent, it says here that the average British woman has had 3.7 lovers before marriage.
3.7? How interesting.
Yes. And the average British male, 7.8. Doesn't seem quite fair, does it?
Rather doesn't seem to quite make sense.
In what way?
Well, in the numbers. How can the average British woman have had 3.7 lovers before marriage, while the average man has had twice as many?
A bit more than that, actually.
Yes, a bit more than twice as many lovers as the women. How is that possible?
How do you mean?
Well, there are roughly equal numbers of men and women, so in theory, there is roughly one man for each woman.
Yes.
So this article states that before marriage, each woman is having relations with just under 4 men. Fine, that accounts for the women's side of it, and for about half of the man's side of the equation. Do you follow?
So far.
One question, Joe. Are we still in the same orientation? Okay.